Hello, my name is Clifton, and this video cast is in celebration of a second anniversary. It's the 7th of October 2012 today, and on the 7th of October 2010, 1 week before my 40th birthday, which is the 16th of October, if anyone feels like sending me a birthday present, 7th of October 2010, I broke my 4th and 5th vertebrae jumping a push bike into a foam pit that was supposed to soften my fall, and obviously it didn't do so. In any event, 2 years on, and in the spirit of the 7 deadly sins, I thought it might be worthwhile doing a retrospective and a prospective, listing 7 of the things that I miss the most, and also 7 of the things for which I'm most thankful that hopefully will help me into the future. So let's start with the things I miss. And obviously, firstly, I miss the ability to walk. That's relatively obvious, and indeed it seems to be the focus of most people's attention when they think about what people in my position must want to do. They think you must want to walk. The issue is the things that maybe because you can't walk or because you can't move those parts of the body, it's the things that you therefore cannot do. So secondly then, I miss probably the most surfing and playing golf. I used to just love surfing, especially with my brothers, Daniel and Troy and Kurt, and toward the end there with my sons as well. In fact, the day of my accident on the 7th of October, I went for a surf in the morning. It was at Culburra, and really not a bad way to spend my last day on legs, to have a great surf in the morning. And the truth is that so many of the activities that I used to enjoy, that I used to holiday about, swimming, surfing, all of those things are lost to me now. And really the difficulty is that I'm not sure yet how to replace them. So anyway, that's life. Thirdly, I miss the ability to go to the toilet and shower without carers, and just to get in and out of bed on my own. Well, last night, for example, I got into such a spasm that my doona cover got pulled down to my legs, and I woke up sort of at 3 o'clock at night cold, and I couldn't reach down and pull the doona back up. And it's a little thing, and of course I could have fixed it. I just, could have woken up my wife in the bed next to me, but I didn't want to do that, and I actually managed to solve the problem by pushing a pillow over the top of my body, and I was able to stay relatively warm. But the point is, when I'm not in my chair, I feel like a blob, and I miss just being able to move. Fourthly, I miss having some control over my own schedule. I miss the flexibility of just being able to decide on a whim to go and watch a movie or go and stay out late with friends and the like. Alright, fifthly, I miss helping out around the home. That sounds like a really stupid thing to say, and of course it can sometimes be a bonus. I get a free pass out of doing all the sorts of jobs that nobody wants to do. Of course that's cool, except for the fact that my wife or someone else has to do those jobs. And it really does sometimes leave me feeling emasculated, or maybe just plain guilty. Number 6, I miss living free from pain. Most people presume that spinal cord injury is a complete lack of feeling in the area below the injury. But annoyingly, many people with spinal cord injury still get pain. Of course, you have drugs to help you out, and the mind is pretty good really at bracketing out pain most of the day. So most of the time it's no big deal, but especially toward the end of the day it gets old and tiring. And 7, and this is the last of the 7 deadly sins here, finally, and I don't know whether I should talk about this, but oh well, I miss the joy of orgasm. And I know that's not the thing that nice people talk about, but there's no getting around it. The loss of some things simply sucks. I once heard a quadriplegic blogger, Tiffany Colson, you can look her up, she's fantastic, say you don't always get the life you thought you were going to get or the life you think you deserve, so get over it. Sounds harsh, but I guess at some point, and 2 years down the track's as good a time as any, you've got to try and make the decision to look forward rather than look backward. And in that spirit, let me see if I can find the 7 things for which I'm thankful and maybe for which give me some hope for the future. So firstly, I'm thankful for the movement that I've retained and some of the movement that I've gotten back. Spinal cord injury is a game of millimetres. If I had an accident one level higher in the spinal column, then there's a good chance I'd have absolutely no movement in my arms and legs at all, and obviously that's a much harder way to live. What they say, by the way, is you get the bulk of your recovery in the first 3 to 6 months, and then after that it sort of tapers off like a J-curve, and by about 2 years you'll have gotten back what you're likely to get back, and here I am at the 2-year mark, and I've had no recovery on the left side at all, so I've still got no tricep, no hand movement, etc. On the right side though, I've got a bit of tricep back, and the best thing is that I've had some hand movement back. It's not a strong movement, but it means, for example, just excuse that spasm, I'll ignore it. If you can, it means that I can pick up a phone, and really the best thing about it is that I can, if I stop shaking, I can pick up a drink bottle and I can eat and feed myself. I still make a bloody mess, but it's an amazing thing to be able to feed yourself. So I'm thankful for the movement that I've gotten back, and I'm thankful that my injury wasn't any higher. Secondly, having seen the impact of brain injury upon people and their families, I'm thankful that my brain still functions. Thirdly, I'm thankful that I live in the 21st century. 50 years earlier, and there's a good chance I wouldn't have survived my accident. Only 10 years ago, I wouldn't have had access to the quality voice recognition software program that I use to express my thoughts with my undamaged brain. And here's a chance for me to give a plug for Dragon Naturally Speaking. That program has changed my life and I love it, even if it drives me crazy sometimes. Fourthly, I am blessed to have a job that I can keep doing. This is not true for many people with spinal cord injury. I not only have been able to go back to work, only part-time, but it's better than nothing. But it's also the case that I enjoy what I do. I get to spend time with students. I should say that I teach theology at a theological college, so I get to spend time with students, mostly young people in their 20s, whose energy keeps me going. And I teach at a place called Alpha Christus College, which is in Parramatta, with a mob of people that I love and that have been great to me since my accident and before. So I'm thankful for that. Fifthly, I'm thankful for all of the friends who have loved me and loved my family and continue to love us. I've received support and well wishes and prayer from people around the world. One of my greatest memories in hospital was when my nephews, Joel and Bryce, brought in some cards that had been written by their classmates. They were in, I don't know, kindergarten, year 1, something like that. And I got all of these cards tipped onto my bed, and it was just beautiful. My favourite was a handmade card from a little girl called Lucy, who told me that she loved me because she prays for me every day. And I think that's pretty special. Somehow you can experience the love of someone you've never met. Number 6, I am so blessed by my family. My 3 boys, Jeremy, Jacob and Lachlan, are just spectacular. And what I love about them is that they generally treat me the same as they ever did. They're as fun-loving and naughty as they always were, and they seem to normally at least see me just as Dad and not as some cripple in a wheelchair. I'm also just unable to express how thankful I am for my parents, both sets of parents, mums and dads, for just how amazing they were during the whole course of my recovery and still are. I can't imagine life without them. And for my brothers and their families. You know, we've always been close, but I suspect that my accident has made it clear to all of us how much we love one another and how much we need each other. Which brings me finally to point 7. I'm eternally grateful for my wife Ellie, who loves me and puts up with me at least most of the time. The truth is that she's not always sure at the moment about how she can cope with the pressures of this new way of living, but I have seen what she's accompanied so far and I have confidence in her. Thank you, Ellie, you're amazing and I love you. I have no idea what the future holds for me. I hope for happiness. The truth is, for the last 2 years, I'm struggling to be happy. And anyway, happy and sucky 2-year anniversary. See you later.